Hey, my name is Rodney and I love exploring the roads less traveled in my Jeep Gladiator Django. In this video, I explore the San Isabel National Forest. It's Memorial Day weekend. I got a 4-day trip planned out here in the San Isabel National Forest. It's about 2.5 hours from my house, so not bad at all. I got up here yesterday morning and the skies were blue, just a little bit of clouds, and then by noon it got kind of foggy and misty, and it's looking like it might be that way today. We'll see. Hopefully the sun comes out and burns off some of this cloud cover. The plan is to kind of explore some of the trails in the area. I came out to this general area last year when I went camping at Hermit Pass. I'll put a link to that video in the description if you want to see that. That is a beautiful area, and I was like, well, this area is really nice and pretty convenient from my house, though. I want to just check out a little bit more of it. So far, I've had the place to ourselves, nice and quiet. The spot is a little bit away from the main trail, so I've heard the occasional group of side-by-sides or vehicles, but so far it's been nice and quiet and peaceful, just the way I like it. I'll show you around the campsite. Looks like it's a popular site for hunters during the hunting season because there is pieces of animal bone that the dogs have found and have been having a good time with. There's a log in between two trees, like they're hanging, elk or whatever it is. I will mark it on my map here, and I've been working on my blog, so if someone's interested, come out to this area. Unfortunately, the sun did not burn off the fog. It was foggy, wet, and cold all day. We decided to wait it out and go out the next day, hoping the weather would be better. The next day was more of the same. By this time, we had spent a lot of time in the camper. The OP4 is relatively spacious, but after spending 24 hours in it with 2 adults, 2 kids, and 2 dogs, it was starting to test everyone's patience. There was only so many card games we could play. We needed to escape the boredom and the smells, so we hit the trail and hoped the weather would improve. At first, I wasn't really excited because we couldn't see any of the views or get any good drone shots, but after seeing the footage, I really like how the fog created this almost mystical feeling to the footage. Our camping spot is on the Holt Mountain trail. The plan for today is to take Holt Mountain back down to the Locke Mountain trail, do some exploring, and take the Adobe Peak trail back to the campsite. Holt Mountain and Adobe Peak form a lollipop loop. There are supposed to be several dispersed campsites all along the trails and great views of the Santa Cristobal Mountains to the west. I've put a map of the area along with all the campsites I found in my blog. A link to the blog is in the description. There were fallen dead trees all along the trail. When I was planning the trip, I picked out 2 potential campsites on the edge of some small ponds, but we couldn't get to either of those sites because the road was blocked by deadfall. I need to start carrying a chainsaw with me. I keep a handsaw in the Jeep, but that's only for emergencies. There are long sections of Holt Mountain that aren't suitable for dispersed camping. Most of the campsites are grouped close to the west end of the trail where Holt Mountain and Adobe Peak meet. The sites are pretty big, most can fit 2 vehicles. The best site, however, is just off of Adobe Peak. I'll show it to you later in the video. All 3 trails are easy, there are no obstacles or shelf roads, but there are long narrow sections that could get tricky if a vehicle is coming the other way. When I was pulling the OP4 camper, there were sections where I just had to hope we didn't run into another vehicle, or even worse, another vehicle pulling a camper themselves. It would have sucked to try to back up to a section of the trail that was wide enough for 2 vehicles to pass each other. Here we're on the Adobe Peak Trail heading down to connect to the Locke Mountain Trail. As we descend, the fog clears and finally see the blue sky after spending the last 2 days camping in a cloud. I've been to Seattle twice and absolutely loved it. The weather was perfect, I wanted to move out there, but the locals told me that clear sunny days were the exception, not the rule. After spending the last couple of days constantly wet and it being overcast, I am questioning whether I'm really cut out to live the Pacific Northwest lifestyle. Straight ahead is the Locke Mountain Trail. From the top you're supposed to get amazing views of the San Cristo mountain range, but the chances of us seeing anything was looking pretty slim, but we decided to go ahead and give it a shot. There is a decent campsite just down this spur. The trail continues to climb to the peak and back into the clouds. We've experienced all 4 seasons on the trail so far: rain, snow, and sunny skies, and we knew we were in for more because we could hear thunder off in the distance and saw the occasional flash of lightning. We're about halfway up the trail to Locke Peak, and we decided to go ahead and call it. We have not been having luck with the weather with our trips recently, because like, well, we're going to drive all the way up there and we're going to get the same view that we're getting at the campsite, which is absolutely nothing because it's just so cloudy and foggy up here. We have not been having any luck with our trips. Out in Moab, we got snowed out here. Thankfully, it didn't snow, but it is rainy and drizzly and overcast. You can hear thunder off in the distance. But I don't regret coming out and checking out this portion of it. We marked some pretty good campsites. I'll share more information about that. Just okay, and I saw some lightning right there. Yeah, so we don't want to push our luck by going up too high. Just because we turned around doesn't mean there isn't more trail to explore. We're back on the Adobe Peak Trail on the Lollipop Loop section that turns into Holt Mountain Trail. I want to show you the best campsite in the area. Turn left at Forest Service Road 336A to get to it. That turkey over there.
Oh yeah.
A turkey?
Yeah, there's a wild turkey running across the grass over there. Oh, there's another.
I can't see.
What are you trying to do, Malia?
Speak to the turkeys and it's working.
Okay, let's hear it. Whoa, you're like a world champion turkey caller.
We should have been over here.
This campsite is actually pretty nice. I drove past it because I wanted to get a spot by the pond, and then we couldn't get to the pond because trees have fallen down and blocked access to it, and the trail is so narrow there wasn't an easy place to turn around. We had to do the whole loop to get back here, so we found a spot where we were. That is nice, but actually this is probably the nicest spot in the area. We're back on the main road, and there's a short spur on the left-hand side of the road, but don't bother checking it out. It dead ends at a gate with a private property sign.
Way than we went when we left.
Somebody's back there. Somebody chainsawed it open.
You want to go look?
What's happening?
This is the place we were gonna go when we came up, but it was a tree in the road.
This is where I was planning on camping, the first spot on the list, but it was blocked off by that fallen tree. Someone must have came through over the weekend and chainsawed it and probably stayed here. But I think our spot is probably better. I guess if someone were to come down this trail exploring, they would dead end right into your camp. There's not really any place to turn around except through your tent. But it's not bad. We made it back to the campsite, and just as we pulled up, the clouds cleared, so I pulled out my drone to see what I could see. The clouds still blocked some of the view, and we're still sitting in between the peaks and covering the mountains to the north. Thankfully, they never came back, and we're able to enjoy the little bit of daylight left. As beautiful as this area is, it's nothing compared to some other trails in Colorado. To see more of